For night, and definitely we want to make your morning a better one, and that's why you should just tune your radio to the sound of Lagos, Mela 98.3 FM. And of course, we know it's always a pleasure that we take you through, we keep you abreast, bring to your listening pleasure great content, keep you updated, bring to your doorstep updates, trends, and story situations that are happening. As Melanitis 103 FM is known to educate, is known to also give to you news as they break, as much as educate, entertain, and of course, whichever you definitely want to enjoy, will definitely give to you at every point in time. You're welcome. Still, Morning Express on Melanitis 103 FM, the sound of Lagos, and it's trending the papers on mainland. My name is Mᴏᴜ Akínyẹ̀sọ̀yẹ, and on Trends in the Papers, we want to bring to you trends in our dailies this morning. What is trending, what's going on, update, developing stories, situations happening, regardless of whatever it is or what area or column or pages it is in the newspapers this morning, be it political, be it economic, socio-economic, be it education, health, whatever it is. We're ready to do that this morning. So welcome once again to Trends in the Papers on Mela 98.3 FM. We'll be joined, and we'll be also giving holistic approach to the very stories this morning. Said Fouad will be joining us via phone to also analyze the couple of stories we are bringing on board this beautiful morning. As much as you are listening, you can also enjoy an audiovisual experience this morning by joining our Facebook Live and YouTube at Mela 98.3 FM. So you can definitely, we're streaming live currently, so join us on Facebook and YouTube at Mela 98.3 FM. You can also listen via Radio Garden, and as well as our website is also very much accessible for you to be part of the conversation. It's www.mainlandfm.com, and you get to listen to the sound of Lagos. Welcome to Trends in the Papers once again, and my name is Mᴏᴜ Akínyẹ̀sọ̀yẹ. I've got several newspapers, like always, the Vanguard, the Guardian, and the Punch newspaper, with several issues happening. We had the news of the passing of the 43rd Olubadan of Ibadan yesterday, that of Olakunle, the Olubadan of Ibadan. May his soul continue to rest in perfect peace at the age of 90, actually. And also, we are looking forward to the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan, and also several issues happening, even the flood disasters in Nigeria, and the warning so far we are getting from NIMET. Said Fouad, good morning. Good to have you.
Yeah, good morning, Lady Ma. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Hope you had a restful night.
Yes, it was. Restful one. Hope you did too.
Yeah, I tried my best. I tried my best, as much as I knew that I would definitely have to be in the studio as early as past 6, before 7. So, but I tried my best anyway. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Aside Fouad, may the 43rd Olubadan of Ibadan soul rest in perfect peace. He passed on, and we are expecting the next Olubadan of Ibadan. And some have been asking why so often. Most of the time, within a couple of years, we just hear the passing on of the Olubadan, most especially, and of course you get to know that they come into the throne or on to be crowned when they are of age, because the 43rd Olubadan passed on at the age of 90, and then of course it's not an early death, so to say. It's a good one.
You know, the pattern with the long list of people on the waiting line. So it's not as if somebody just like the traditional one of that they have to consult and the power of full and what have you. So there's a line of hierarchy. That's why it's always very easy to choose the next one, because there's somebody waiting in line. This one passes on, the next person is crowned, because there are no disputes, there are no quarrels to eat. The 43rd,
They pass on, right?
Yeah, they go to meet their ancestors. They reincarnate into deity. I don't know whether the modern kings do. Things have changed. When Ifa used to choose kings, that they become deities, houses, different parts of Yoruba land. So the way some kings behave, that this one can never be anti-party. This one is political. So those ones may die. They cannot transit to the great beyond. If you understand what I'm saying. But the real ones, the real traditional ones, they become deities. So, but the 44th Olubadan, as expected, is already waiting in line.
Former governor.
Waiting to be crowned. And that's the former governor of your state, Alhaji Ladoja.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So, that being said, actually, just being known, page 27 precisely also is being captured in the Punch newspaper about the passing and the next Olubadan of Ibadan, saying that Ladoja next in line as tribute flow for late Olubadan. Page 27 captures that in the Punch newspaper, and I'm very sure that it's cross-board in our dailies this morning. All right, away from that, congratulations.
With a Thanksgiving service that turned to a political rally.
I mean, yesterday when you were actually, speaking about this issue, and then what comes to mind is, church services now has been, turned to, especially when where we have presence of political players in the church. We all now turn, religious messages to political messages and all of that. And
even if it's a meaningful political message, we would even try to deal with that.
Right.
If it was maybe a political message with a lot of meaning,
right,
with a lot of, but these are political messages just to insult one another, throw jabs at one another. So it becomes completely useless to desecrate the pulpit, the altar of God in that manner. You understand what I'm saying? Half of the things we say don't even have any meaning. They just go there, rant and insult them. And for the pastors and imams or whoever, or the leaders of those religious houses who are always willing to allow their pulpit to be used for that kind of non-project for days, that's not enough. You've granted media interview, insulted everybody. You still have to create another opportunity in the church to also still insult. If you are saying, that's what we are saying. It's become extremely ridiculous. You see, every time you to a point where you are wondering, who are these guys? To what level of exposure can we attribute the way they carry themselves? Extremely ridiculous, if you ask me, if you understand what I'm saying. Especially when it comes to the good behavior.
Well, it's a call to, leaders, especially some areas or sectors that we have known over the years that they stand for preaching the right thing to the people. As much as you have followers, you are always in the position where, and so in that space, you allow that whatever comes in that space, we also do same and not derailing or bringing any issue, whichever way, we'll be fine. Anyways, we are just out of the commissioning, and we have a full page back. The Punch newspaper is now giving updates of the flood alert, which it will continue to be a focus or focus point or focal point, because when it comes to the issue of lives and properties or security of lives and property, definitely we need to be very concerned. The Punch newspaper is capturing, and even across board on the flood alert, 20 states at risk despite 620 billion naira intervention. Now, the NIMET, Nigeria Meteorological Agency, had issued flood alert for the month of July, warning that states including Sokoto, Lagos, Edo, Benue, and even 16 others are at risk of experiencing flash floods. And this is coming as the African Environmental Health Organization, the climate state governors, following the recent devastating floods that had ravaged several states, calling for an end if it's to prevent flooding and do whatever it is in your power to prevent flooding and to in ecological funds. The many states seem ill-prepared, not proactive to mitigate the impact of such disasters, and these are actually raising questions about the effectiveness of even these funds in enhancing the environmental resilience and disaster preparedness. And NIMET actually gave out alert, especially flash flood risk alert for the month of July 2020 events due to onset of rainfall across the country, and we are even just getting into the rain season properly. that's not enough. Said Fuad, we are getting reports now across board that flood had destroyed 500 houses in Kogi community, to be precise, that no fewer than 500 houses have been submerged, while property worth millions of naira have been lost to floods in Kogi State, Kaba, precisely the headquarters of Kaba Bunu local government area of Kogi State. Side forward, and in Ondo State as well, flood at, across board actually. If we continue to peak all this, what exactly is the issue? Is it that the funds are not enough to give effect to preventing or prevention of this, or the government are not proactive enough? Is just the political will to make sure that this is, because these kind of disasters are preventable. We don't have natural disasters we have, in other parts of the country like we do here. And the ones that we can prevent, we are not doing whatever, regardless of the amount of money or funds that have been disbursed to this effect. Side forward.
Well, I think we first have to establish the fact that nature, especially when you look at environment, our communities, and human life generally, if you ask, it's just what it is. But like you rightly put it, maybe more, some of these things are preventable. There are things we could do or we should have done to mitigate the effect. Even look at the almighty United States of America, Texas. Look at how devastating the flash floods, swept communities, swept roads, and what have you. But it's not to use that to justify our own level of inefficiency when it comes to some of these things. If you understand what it's the easiest money to steal, really, because it's almost difficult to account for anything. In fact, auditing some of those kinds of funds are very difficult because, again, it's always easy to manipulate and just filter funds. More like intervention funds that we are not even aware of, to help deal with the effect of some of these things. I think it was one of the states, it was in Niger State or which state, that we reached community. The fund was supposed to even help the community deal with an impending flood situation. And the flood eventually happened and dealt with people in that community, leading to loss of lives. So it's not about the funds not even, not being enough. The question is the little that, if we say little, the one that is even available, are we really committing it to doing the right thing? When it comes to these things, there's always floods that come, that kill people, that sweep homes away, that displace people. And you have the usual responses of people in government to say, we congratulate to the family of people who lost their lives, we are doing what we can, we continue to make efforts to prevent such disasters. And the next year comes, the rains come again. They say there's a possibility that they're already releasing water from their dam, the Lagdo Dam. And that in itself is also the warnings have come, the rains are coming heavy. And it's looking like rains, the heaviest of rains in this year. And that means that, look, most of these states have to now start to get a bit more prepared. Even though this is appearing like a late preparation, if you ask.
Well, that very story.
We said yesterday that we hope they do better. Last year,
we continue to.
2 years before.
Saifwad, what do we now? Do we?
No, I'm not. It's right. I'm just saying that. Look, that has always been what we've always been saying. 3 years ago, the same thing. 2 years ago, we hope they will do better. Last year, we said it. This year, we're already saying it. Maybe next year, we'll still say the same thing again. Because nobody's committed to anything. It's almost like a criminal empire. It's almost like, we are like, a jungle where everybody just goes after what they want from the system. Nobody's committed to fixing any problem. So that's why the problem continues to resurface without any solution. So I think these things that can't be dealt with. But who is really committed to solving the problem? That's the question.
I think more of now what we do, like you always say, that find a way to, that they are
low-lying areas.
Yes, that their houses they live just too close to flood-prone areas and all of that. I want to link it up with this very story as well from The Guardian, saying that Lagos warning against building on canal alignments, vowing enforcement on plastic waste. That the Lagos State Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, that's Mr. Tokunbo Wahab, had reiterated the government, also the collective responsibility of the citizens and residents as well, to also prevent flood. So he's saying that the government is committed to the proactive flood control and environmental enforcement. One, definitely we are in the rainy season. It has been raining for the past few days, and so residents should, as much as possible, and he's also raising concerns about the unlawful development and environmental abuse along drainage channels, especially at some areas, the Sabalogu channel, Lalakbere, citing several areas and all of that. I just wanted to touch on, aside the government's responsibility, the resident.
Well, I agree completely with the zero tolerance stance of Mr. Tokunbo Wahab, the Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources in Lagos. Because again, as much as we want to blame government for not doing enough, to prevent some of these things, there are also things that our people do that are completely responsible when it comes to the way we respect environmental laws, planning, regulations, and what have you. Lagos in itself, is a state that's prone to flooding because of the topography. Low lying, below the sea level. So when rain falls, you expect that canals, drainages that have been constructed, provided, can do their job. So the flood can come, the flash flood can come, but you see that a lot of times when the drainages and the canals do their job, the water level goes down immediately. The expectation is that the storm drainage channels, the canals around the state are able to do their work, collect some of these waters from our communities, from our roads, from the small channels, and then drains them into the lagoon and other areas. But when you now ask people brazenly violating town planning laws, brazenly violating environmental laws, building on drainage channels, building on canals, the state has to enforce it. And I must say that I have been a bit critical of the fact that, Lagos is still not able to provide water for the people, potable water for the people. As a mega city, there's no reason why there can't be the provision of potable water for Lagosians. Everybody now sings bowl. And, environmental sanitation, if you ask, starts with the availability of water. Water has got a critical role to play in keeping our environment clean. But as we talk about the need for Lagos to do more in providing potable water for the people, we also have to say that, people are, and the thing again in Lagos, what people don't know, when they arrest you, they prosecute you immediately. So some of you are going to, go to jail for throwing the dirt into canal and drain it. So I think the enforcement has to be strong in Lagos, strong and definitive, because we can't continue to blame the government and then also have citizens behave badly when it comes to some of these things. So again, I have to commend Mr. Tokunbo for standing and also being very active in dealing with some of these challenges.
Like someone will say that more of the change that we always ask from the government begins with us. Begins with every citizen. That very story we have in the Punch newspaper, page 2, captures on the flash flood and Ondo State. Away from that, still with the Punch newspaper. Okay, someone complained about online radio. We'll definitely attend to that. Thank you very much for the observation. I really appreciate. We'll attend to that shortly, and you'll be able to listen via the online platform. Okay, let's quickly talk about Trump, United States, and the shenanigans. I'll pick a couple of the stories that is relating to captures. U.S. Embassy begins screening Nigerian students' social media account. Okay, F, M, and J non-immigrant visas must now adjust their social media account privacy settings to public. F, M, and J visas are non-immigrant visa categories that are. So the mission had stated that applicants in those categories must now set their personal social media profiles to public as part of the new visa requirement. And so this announcement was made, development was made via the United States Diplomatic Mission Nigeria's official page yesterday, noting that update was definitely effective immediately. And so according to the post, that the change is meant to complement vetting efforts aimed at determining applicant identities and their admissibility of the United States. You will ask, oh, well, the U.S., while earlier announcing the plan for the updates in June, maintained that its visa is a privilege and not a right. So they said that they will conduct a comprehensive and thorough vetting, including online presence of all students and exchange visitors going to the country, U.S., for educational and exchange purposes. Your thought about that? That's on one side. Secondly, let's talk about the Trump and Elon Musk, which Musk is, trying to create a party and all of that against Trump, and as well as much. Punch is shrugged off Elon Musk's plans for a new political party as ridiculous. They called it ridiculous, but the announcement had underscored the threat that disaffected former ally poses to U.S. Republicans defending paper-thin congressional majorities. And so Musk's weekend launch of the American Party had come in the wake of Trump signing into law a sprawling domestic policy. Has been light on policy detail, but is expected to target a handful of House and Senate seats in next year's midterm elections, where the sitting Republican voted for Trump's bill after preaching fiscal responsibility. Now, the back and forth about Musk and Trump creating a political party to tackle Trump, coming on board with reports that now Nigeria involved, and that's why I'm bringing them together. South Korea. Now, you ask, how come Nigeria is involved? Well, the United States President Donald Trump had warned that countries that are supporting the BRICS policies that clash with U.S. interests would definitely face trade imbalances with the two crucial U.S. allies in Asia. Meanwhile, of course, China had said yesterday that BRICS, the grouping that also includes Brazil, Russia, India, and South Africa, was not actually seeking confrontation after Trump vowed to impose an extra 10% tariff on countries aligning with the bloc. What does this say for what? How does this...
visa for people who are interested in going to the United States of America for study purposes and for that exchange program. The fact that now social media handles of such applicants from private make it public because they are now vetting it. But that's the new normal. That's now what the United States of America has become under Donald Trump. The idea of freedom of expression is having a new interpretation. You have to be careful what you put on your social media. And they are not, if it's about, because again, they will tell you it's about the interest of the United States of America and security threat, any form of security threat. And basically from some of the information we've gotten, what is now being said is that, look, they are looking at whether you posted anything about solidarity for the people of Gaza. It becomes a problem for you. So if you are such a person who has flooded your social media handle, in fact, there are some people that they actually even want to give you the visa now,
right,
but they'll first put you an administrative process to handle again to know whether you are qualified. So that's what the story says, basically. In fact, there are also applicants who have told us that one of the questions they ask you now, you don't go Gaza before. So what it means is that whatever is taking you to Gaza, it means you are not qualified to enter the United States, secure America. They feel that, look, if you must come to the United States of America to study, purge yourself of any idea of, what is considered anti-Semitic views or, any solidarity for the people of Gaza, despite what is considered globally as genocide against the people of Palestine. So,
in that sense, does that really appear as a threat for you to be considered to get your visa, so to say, considered to be given visa?
That's what they say. That once you have those views, you become. Even for students who are in the US, they are dealing with it.
Side you said views. Does how is that?
That's what I'm saying. That things are changing very rapidly on the land where you could express yourself freely. You understand what I'm saying? But now, that's why I said that some of the things we used to know of the United States are getting to be reinterpreted in a different way. And so it's only for people who are enough. Do you understand? Even for people who are already in the US as students, they've told you that the fact that you have your visa is a privilege. they can revoke that privilege. If they think you have become a problem for people now, there are people who are already starting trial for deportation because of holding such views. If you understand what I'm saying, they've not broken any visa rules and immigration rules yet. So it's just what it is. And to the second issue of Elon Musk coming up with a new party called the American Party, it was a conversation that we're supposed to have extensively on Sunday about what could be the political implications of this decision of Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, to set up his own political party. You know, one of the things he has said is that, look, he has budget deficit and what have you. It thinks that, look, government spending in the United States should be more prudent. It's only for
expenses.
For Trump and the people to come up with the big, beautiful bill that balloon government spending beyond his own reason. So he's come up with this party, and analysts are saying that, look, but, you know, he did a poll on social media, and he got good responses to people who said, look, it's now time for a new party to emerge, to create disruption when it comes to the balance of power, especially when it comes to how the Senate and the House of Reps make it difficult for any political party to push through bills like what just happened under Donald Trump. But again, we'll leave that issue to when Barrister Curtis is available to release in Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, with some other countries as members. I think who to be friends with or enemies with. Luckily, Nigeria is a non-aligned nation. We are not aligned to either the West or the East, Eastern Bloc. We choose and decide who our friends are, and we look at our own national interest beyond every other interest. So all of this, look, since he has started all of this is tariff trade disruption. And like Dr. FᴜΓᴜᴜ said, the WTO DG, that look, these two shall pass. We've seen this movie before. At the end of the day, these disruptions will amount to nothing for the U.S. because nations have been able to align themselves beyond the United States of America to protect their own when it comes to our own national interest. If China will do us better when it comes to our economic interest, why not? If we need to work with Russia to protect our own economic interest, why not? If it's India, we should be able to achieve it. Up till today, nations still don't respect any of the things he put forward as the so-called deals he won. So I think it's nothing to really worry about. We are able to tidy up our own.
You're perusing the pages of our dailies this morning, seeing through what is happening in the media, and of course, side forward on the other side, giving perspective, holistically looking at the issues. Please, apologies for website. Yes, you can connect to us via that. The Radio Guardian, we're having some challenges with that, so you can use other avenues of that on our Facebook. So please do, where you can hear me, do well to connect with us on Facebook or YouTube or our website, please. Thank you very much. Quickly, now, we are getting a report also from The Punch this morning, across board actually, not just The Punch, about Natasha issue. We could recall that the Federal High Court in Abuja on Friday had nullified the 6-month suspension slammed on Akpotiuduaghan by the Senate, and the court declared that the 6-month suspension imposed on her was excessive, unconstitutional, and an infringement on the right of her constituents, and ordered that she should be recalled from suspension. And it also filed a fight the sum of 5 million naira for contempt of court over had held that Akpotiuduaghan's Facebook post, a satirical apology directed at Senate President Godswill Akpabio, breached an interim injunction issued by the court on March 4, 2025, and that the injunction had barred all parties from making public statements or social media posts related to the ongoing suit she filed to challenge her suspension. But definitely after this, she had made it known, thanked her supporters, and expressed gratitude to her constituent for standing by her, and that she would definitely be appearing in the next plenary. But we are getting reports that there might be a lawmaker representing Kogi Central Senatorial District, that's Natasha Akpotiuduaghan, following our threat to attend the plenary today. And the upper chamber is, however, warming up for a showdown, and insisted that it will not take any official action on the matter until the review of the certified true copy of the court's pronouncement. Akpotiuduaghan said, it would appear. But if side forward, what's your reaction to the recent development?
Well, we'll first have to wait to see whether there will be any showdown. We are never tired of their drama. Though there's a lot we have documented, we've seen that our politicians will not stop, misbehaving. We just talked about the FCT minister, for example, who is almost, I must say, a lot of the things we like to say because we are already, we just keep it to ourselves.
Right.
Because, the nuisance value we see in the political space is unbelievable, I must tell you. So a court decision, because no such powers, to suspend a fellow senator. And this is not the first time the court have made pronouncements on the rules of the Senate that talks about that they keep referring to suspend fellow senators. And basically, even without looking at it legally, on the basis of common sense, it's not that we are just a people that likes power but does not understand the responsibility that comes with it, that it presents us as people of good intellect and idea. The courts have said, look, suspending senators, suspending rest members, amount to you suspending the entire constituent from representation in the National Assembly. Because what it means is that, look, as long as Senator Natasha remains suspended, the entire people of Kogi Central lacks representation in the Senate, which is a violation of the Constitution in itself. And the courts have said that, look, you guys should go and check your rule books. We are not saying you can't have your own rules. But any rules for that, you see, we say some of these things and you expect that, look, people of good conscience, some of them speak common of English, they present themselves as true Democrats. I see some of them, they still wear a Awolowo cap, even though we know they are deceiving themselves. They are not even near anything Awolowo stands for when it comes to democracy. They know these things. But because again, I gave an analogy yesterday about this suspension. Now, despite the federal high court, Justice Lisa Yako saying she should be immediately reinstated, you can see that they are still paraphrasing. We want to study the CTC. What is in the CTC? That I want to look back that we are here today. They become history. Some of them have become letter writers. Trying to now condemn what they tolerated. And that's why we are saying that, look, for those that are so, you'll be the ones who will now start to lament and condemn some of these things. We are condemning now because it's just common sense.
Your account is too low for.
All right. I think we'll have to. All right. Still trends in the papers on Mainland 98.3 FM. The sound of Lagos. It is this month. Just give me a few seconds. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us.
Listening to the Morning Express on Mainland 98.3 FM.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for your patience. Said, you back?
Yes, I don't know at one point.
Apologies. Yes, you just had issues there.
To glitch. Yeah.
Yes, so it's just a little glitch there. All right.
Okay, like I said, there can be an end to the nuisance value. So the same value, not Nigeria that owns it. I'm sure in the minds of some of these people,
all is well.
So even if you can't say she should come back, no. So let's wait to see the drama that will happen today, if any drama will happen today.
Well.
Yes, yes.
All right, Saitfa, thank you very much. Let me just quickly run down through these stories. As time is fast spent, I wish we could analyze them. Just reiterating that the fuel subsidy rate leads into critical infrastructure, social safety nets, targeted economic reforms, aimed at rebuilding. That's from the president. Yeah. Away from that, also those everyday fiscal inefficiencies erode Naira's prospect despite a weakening dollar. We have that very report right in the Guardian newspaper with riders. Naira struggles to regain February 1,500 per dollar band. Ghanaian Ghanaian CDT trap behind broader rally against the dollar. All right, so that you also get in that. Also, the Guardian also captured the opposition unity at risk. The ADC chair will risk collapse actually if it's not properly managed ahead of the 2027 general election. Yes or no? Do you agree? Fuad, before we call it a body.
Well, I don't know whether that the people who have joined the coalition should learn how to manage the problem. The problems that the party could collapse. So it's not left for them to find a way to manage the party. I think one of the biggest challenges they will face will be the silent personal interest of these individuals. That's when it comes to the presidential ticket. Because my mind tells me Obi dying the ticket, Rotimi Amechi wants the ticket, Atiku 2 wants the ticket. How they are able to manage that clash of interest.
Keyamo inaugurates Enugu Air as Umba vows improved air travel. That on page 29 captures that in the Guardian. NDDC commits to improved mandate delivery. Page 29 also captures that. Court jails 9 Chinese nationals over Ponzi terrorism scheme in Lagos. Page 5, BRICS sustainable. Page 5 has that very story. And palace guards injured. Police vehicle vandalized as hoodlums attack Sanusi's palace. Page 30 captures that from the Guardian newspaper. Thank you very much, Said Fuad, for your time. We're back for mainland food focus in a bit. Stay with us. Still Morning Express. Thank you very much.